It's time to get going, Dan.
Oh, it is time to get going, and I love it. George, fnatic, EG, ESL Pro League, fate in the hands of fnatic, and as well Na'Vi. We have to obviously keep an eye on how that matchup's going, but we are straight into things, and fnatic on the T side, that's going straight in towards A, and Proland is just lighting them up with the Glock. It's an absolute just barnstormer towards the A site there. Mihu, the last player alive, and the round is done in the blink of an eye. 1v3, unless the pole can do something miraculous himself, George, I think we can call this one done.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe assessment to make of this situation. Mihu, obviously with a lot of weight on his shoulders here. There's obviously the chance he can pull off a 1 versus 3, but with no kit and only the armor to play with, he doesn't really have much in way of utility either. Jaquinho is going to make sure that one is not going to be a threat that will be realized. fnatic with a, obviously, like you mentioned, dominant pistol, all coming off the back of a few quick frags from Brolin, and then followed up by the rest of the team. Good start for them, and that hopefully can allow them to steamroll a little bit into the coming rounds. Gives them the opportunity to get the buy up here. Of course, there will be a force buy back from EG. Standard operating procedure, really, for most teams on the second round of the CT side. When you lose the pistol, go for the force, give it what you can, see if you can try and break the economy as early as possible. And immediately into the site they go. Flashbangs hailing in towards Mini, and a straight down the vent they go into the B site. It's not going to be quite easy to defend against this, especially with Daps just praying around the corner. They doesn't get spotted. And whilst he does deal damage to Alex, ultimately the frag goes the way of the British in-game leader.
Yeah, and a second kill coming in as well from Jaquinho. Just having a bit of a mooch towards the yard there, and he catches one out. Oboe falls, and the round looks done as well. It looks like EG probably want to try and save these weapons, although Breeze is having a bit of a lurk. He could find Mezzy here, never mind. Galil too strong. Oh, he's even going to get a double as well. Mihu, last player standing once more, this time against 5. So even less likely. Might have just been worth for EG there to maybe save those sort of pistols, try and keep them alive into the next round, because you're not going to have anything other than them. And although they are just a few deagles, could maybe find some damage, you never know. Maybe snowball around, get a gun in your hands. There's the possibilities are limitless.
Truly endless. But I think for this one, not the worst call in the world to save the deagle, because then at least you've got some threat moving into the next round, right? Otherwise, you'd be going into it with just these USPs. You'd just be going into it with basically 0 lethality on your CT side. But when you've got that deagle, it can present an opportunity to open up a round. You get one quick 1 dig, pick away a rifle, for example, like an AK. And then one of your USP players can arm themselves a little bit better, potentially swing the round in your favor. But for the time being, wall of smokes down outside for only one player to transition down to secret behind. That player is Brolan. Other areas of the map are currently being pressured and prodded. Mostly a bit of an opening default here from fnatic, just to try and delegate the information to the appropriate players. And already there's that deagle I'm talking about. That's the lethality you can bring into the round, just a swift 1 dig. And already the round is in a little bit worse of a situation for fnatic to try and deal with. Overwhelming Jaquinho towards the back as well. Now Mezzy's got a lot on his plate, and he's very, very hungry. So it looks like it's time to gobble down. Actually only managed to find nothing so far, as a matter of fact. Alex now just trying to bail out Mezzy, his brother in arms, his compatriot, under the gun, thankfully. Bailed out just in time before it got too hairy. Still a 3 versus 2, and still that deagle of Mihu very much in the picture. Got to make sure he doesn't paint himself into a corner here as he now approaches from main entrance. 3 players about to cross on through, but Mihu might seize an opportunity to go out through this smoke and catch players completely unaware! Mihu just bombing his way through the smoke for a beautiful 3K, closing out the full eco for EG to get their first round on the board.
That's what those deagles can do on the rounds like that. You just have these players that are able to find just a gap where the offense is not ready for a play like that. And Mihu just stormed through for free. Absolutely beautiful. And now fnatic, well, they're going to be facing a little bit of a more tricky situation here. They don't have that sort of great economy built up already. They do obviously have these 4 AKs of Galil for Crims, but if they lose this round, EG could start to storm away with a good run of form here. Cirque, if he can spot one over the smoke, would be nice, but they're all going to get down safe and sound. All 4 players, leaving just one up towards the lobby, trying to catch rotations perhaps, but look at EG rotating down players already. Mihu in position to try and cut them down to size, and there's the first. Roland hits the deck, looking for more. Mihu can't get the second, and Giacchino Messi, they're going to trade up for 2.
Characteristic miss there from Cirque. Like it was an absolute sitter for him to clean up that frag. And now, of course, as a result of that, the B site has fallen into the clutches of fnatic. Kino planting that bomb, and now it's going to be the retake situation for EG to try and ponder. Already, though, a bit of a difficult one to negotiate, and already by the positioning of EG, they look like they're giving this one up. They want to save and hold on to these rifles they've already got their hands on. I think they know that without it, their chances of winning this round is slim as it is, so why not try and heighten your abilities in the next? So an immediate bounce back from fnatic, and it comes in a very strange kind of way. Lots of damage dealt to the fnatic players, but no real frags found, and they'll all be able to escape relatively easily, unless Obo is able to get a cut-off for anyone being a little too sneaky. Looks like fnatic good with the discipline, keeping hold of those 4 rifles, starting now to build their economy back up after losing that. Well, how do I say this politely, Dan? Not particularly effective 3rd round, but even still. I'm interested to see what EG have got to offer here. I mean, the AWP is still in play for Cirque, and that's always an X factor. We've seen how well this guy can play with the AWP over the course of the last few years, since his time on this Evil Genius, previously NRG squad. I'm looking forward to it at the very least. This is still one of these crucial rounds now for fnatic, though, where they can potentially look to try and break the back of the Evil Genius's economy. It's only going to take 1 round. But Daps has other ideas as he gets himself into the game with his first frag, only to be traded instantaneously by Mezzi. Obo may have other ideas and intentions here, though, about what's coming next, and he might be trying to slink this one up with Cirque very briefly, as 2 players from the T side have emerged their way into Garage.
Ooh, the run boost across as well. Mezzi is now on the other side. Cirque,
he's not spotted.
Didn't actually spot him. Oh, Mezzi's going to have so much space here. This could be a great position to just sit in. But the more time that elapses, maybe the more they start to think that there could be somebody pushed up. Cirque's obviously going to be calling that nobody's sort of aggressing from that Garage position. He knows that surely the timing could have maybe skipped across him. It's going to be down to the timing, I think. If Mezzi picks the right time to push, he could have the world at his fingertips. The smoke down towards main means that Obo isn't really able to assist him out in the yard anymore. But look at Crim's position as well. I don't know if they know he's already in control. Mihu might just walk into the crosshairs, but Crims taps the glass to get a smolly through, and that alerts Mihu, and the round just comes crashing down. The worst possible timing for Crims, and it leaves Mezzi, who has been now slinked into that position over by a ramp, got the time in, but he's lost all of his team, and with 15 seconds on the clock, there's nothing you can do if you're Mezzi. Just keep this AK alive, allow EG a second on the board on the CT side, and just try and get what you can up in the next round.
Not the best of attempts into that B site there. I think that glass break, whilst necessary to make sure the Molotov made its full distance, did obviously, like you say, alert Mihu to the presence that was incoming. Otherwise, that was a decent contact play in the making there for fnatic. Just not quite able to come off as intended. So now a timeout coming out of fnatic. They're looking to just try and steady the nerves a little bit here because they know this is an important game for them. So they want to try and make sure that they do something with their map pick early on. Nuke is really, even still these days, about the CT side. So to do well on the T side and to get a good collection of rounds is almost essential if you want to try and break the back of the Nuke. EG will be looking to just try and hold their own on their CT side. But I think for Alex here, the mystery's got to be, how can we just consistently break down this CT side every time they are about to get eco down, basically? I mean, the last round was an important round for them because if they'd have done so, then it would have almost been a guaranteed 5th, right? Because of the way the economy was starting to crumble on down for EG. But they've managed to rebuild it now. They've bailed themselves out of a hole twice. Both times, fnatic have looked a little bit raptured by it, but they have been able to clap back the previous time, so let's see if they can do it here again. Smokes down to outside, in fact, a multitude of them, just trying to create as much havoc for this EG side to try and contend with in that yard position. It looks like Obo is not particularly perturbed by it, as he is going to calmly meander his way up to second vent to try and prevent any of these insurgents from getting their way into the A site.
I think they will have heard Mezzi drop there. Do they expect Crims to be in that corner as well? Doesn't look like they do. And they definitely don't. Crims able to just steal away a frag onto Obo and back away safely as well. But Cirque replies. He gets the timing onto Alex, notices that it's been pretty quiet outside. Let's have a sniff and see what's about. And he does get his lunch served on a plate to him. So 4-on-4. Crims has taken a lot of damage, though. Down to 7 HP. fnatic. I've got Brolan down towards Secret. They might just wait for him to come online, get into a position that he can catch a kill. Catch rotates, perhaps. It looks like they're just going to go for that bed dive, but Brolan... Oh, sorry, Breeze, rather, does catch the first. That's the bomb able to get down. Yeah, okay, they do get the bomb down, thankfully, but Mezzi is getting tapped. He still wins the fight. Mihu obliterated, but it's Daps and Cirque to try and deny this round. Bomb planted on the other side of the silo, so they are safe from it being denied, and they're just going to try and back away. They heard the door open. They know at least one player is over by that decon door. And they might just try and wrap around themselves, see if they can backstab these EG players. But Brolan needs to try and buy time, and he certainly will with a kill like that. Cirque instantly on the trade, though. And now it's Mezzi, 24 HP against Cirque, but the bomb is not planted for him. He's just going to go for it. And Mezzi, a few huge kills in that round secures fnatic a 4th.
Very audacious from Mezzi, but that's the kind of play you need to see out of that man. I mean, he's still got a lot to prove, I feel, on the international stage, Mezzi. After the Cloud9 project really didn't live up to the whole Colossus representation that it originally gave itself. I think he still feels as if he's got something to say about his potential on an international level. And obviously with Endpoint, didn't really have too much of an opportunity to prove that, playing the events in which Endpoint were located in at the time. But now on this fnatic roster, as one of the partnered ESL teams, they have opportunities, they have chances now to prove themselves. And more to the point, Chiquinho and Mezzi, I think, have got a bit of a chip on their shoulder here as the two new additions, the young guns to both these to this roster. Obviously, a bit of criticism has been leveled both of their ways, and they're looking to try and prove it wrong, and none more so than Mezzi in that previous round. But moving on to the present, it is finally beginning to collapse. That is the money of EG, not the T side here of fnatic, because Alex has just been bodied inside of Goran, and more trades are flowing on through. It's now down into a 3 versus 3. Brolan and Crims, but also Breezy looking to try and make his way around the back of them, and he has wrapped around. Sometimes, Dan, it's tricky to wrap around, but Breezy's right on time. It's tricky. Chiquinho and Brolan, it might be even trickier. Oh, the pocket AK just lacking in the range department. The CZ not quite able to finish the job. Now Brolan and Chiquinho could not be any further apart at this moment in time, Dan.
Brolan has the bomb as well. If he goes down to Breeze, that's round done. 30 seconds here. They can still win this in the 2-on-3, but they need to hit these shots. Chiquinho could get one towards ramp, but Mihu, oh, Mihu has such a disgusting angle on Chiquinho. There you go. And now it's Brolan against Free. Needs to find the first one with 17 seconds. Mihu's deagle is just on fire, George. EG keep bailing themselves out of these just awful rounds.
When you think you got no hope, when your economy's looking desolate, when you're not sure what's going to happen next, EG are your men at the moment by the looks of things. They are seemingly able to just reliably dig themselves out of a hole. That's been 3 rounds now. Once when they're on full eco, once where they're on basically a half buy or force buy, and then once where their economy would have been broken the next round regardless. So they have been able to just keep themselves in this game. But you have to say that when the guns are out and everything's lay on the line, fnatic are currently looking like the better team, just not able to convert these important rounds right now. Now they're going to just basically walk into the Mihu trap. He's got his crosshair well positioned, but unfortunately not able to galvanize any of those frags on down. Shot missed from Cirque once again. And now Brolan actually gets himself cracking into this B site. Breeze taken down with the Tech 9 instantaneously. Obo getting thoroughly overwhelmed by a majority of the players coming through the window. And it's still down into a 3 versus 2 somehow as Daps scrambling for control inside of the vent. Cirque also coming to his aid shortly, but there's a smoke down, preventing safe passage. He needs to try and find some ticket in here. Maybe Cirque has to do a bit of the legwork as the bomb's already ticking down. There is a kit on Cirque, so there's potentially a chance to look for some spicy kind of retake. This post-plant setup here is very passive from fnatic. They're going to need to make sure that EG peek into them, and they're going to want to trade these frags as best as they possibly can. And I think resulting in that particular scenario, EG have thought better of it. Daps gets away with the AK. Cirque, more importantly, gets away with the AWP, and they'll try and live to fight another day.
Oh, those kills are nice, though. Daps does go down, but 3 kills for against the fnatic side. That means no saved weapons for them. So, yeah, you got 5 to 3, but look at the economy. You're missing a lot of what you'd prefer in this one. I mean, you can get a few rifles through. You can get Crims on a Mac 10. It's not perfect, that's for sure. Neither of these guys are, so it's still going to be down to who's able just to steal these ones away. But Cirque just aggressive up on top of the main roof. Doesn't matter if Daxy's just going to try and mow him down towards the fence. He's only able to find 1 kill, but does so much damage to both Crims and Jaquinho. This round could come tumbling down around this fnatic side. Alex towards the hut. He needs to find the kill, and he will get the second time of asking. Misses the first shot onto Daps, though. Could have been a 2 for 1, and now these 2 British players finding damage towards the upper site. While the teammates are down towards B, they are drawing so much rotation back up towards A. Mihu again with that deagle, though, is finding success, and that's Alex hitting the deck. That's the AK gone. And it can be picked up by EG as well. Mihu could upgrade his deagle, but he's already down towards that B site. Wants to try and catch a player, and look at the HP for fnatic, George. There's just none of it. Crims is the highest with 45 HP. Mezzi only has 5. Jaquinho 22, and Mihu is just creeping in, but Jaquinho reads it so wonderfully, gets the instant headshot, keeps himself alive, and leaves it just up to Daps and Cirque to try and bail EG out of this one. But I think finally fnatic might crush the economy. As long as they can maybe find these last 2 kills. If Cirque stays alive with this AWP again, there's going to be threat once more. You can see Mezzi wants to hunt for this.
Why wouldn't you? That AWP needs to go, but unfortunately, it looks like it's going to save its way into the next round. So, EG just maintaining that tiniest bit of threat that could still throw fnatic for a loop. Also, only keeping 2 rifles alive here. fnatic aren't even able to build much of their economy in their own right. A bit of a struggle for them so far, and still grinding out these rounds. And these are the kind of games, Dan, that I feel like are great character builders for a team like fnatic that are new together and they're just trying to work things out, go over a few of the basics. These games where you're not being given things for free, it's a little more difficult. You've got to grind it out. It's not having to earn it, is what I'm trying to get at. Those games are the ones that really test your mental, and so far fnatic in the first 9 rounds have proven they are up to the challenge. This push is audacious, and it has not played out how they intended for it to. Alex's flashbang subsequently blinds both of his teammates, and Obo is just able to capitalize. Now Breeze sits inside the hut, and I fear that if Crims were to push in, I don't think it would result in the way that he wanted it to. So now this 3 versus 5, not necessarily the easiest conversion here for fnatic. What are they going to do?
Not bind up your 2 teammates for 3.
Yeah, that's not fundamentals of Counter-Strike, right? You know.
Yeah.
I think it's just unlucky. The timing wasn't quite right. I think more than anything, it wasn't like a mistake on Alex's part, just a miscommunication, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure. But now that it has left them in an awful situation, 3 on 5, and again, EG with just so little weaponry are going to come away with a steal of a round unless these last few players full of fnatic side can muster up something magical. Which, I don't know if you've got maybe a genie lamp. Maybe it's not working, because Mihu's just found 2 towards the ramp, and the round is done.
I can't believe it, Dan. Once again, EG are bailing themselves out. Look at the residual cash remaining on the EG players.
I know.
It's just, every single time they find themselves in a sticky spot, they seem to just slither their way out of it, like they're covered in oil or something. And just slippery.
Yeah.
Little snacks. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to keep doing it, but they need to keep finding rounds such as these. And I think as a result of this win as well, and of course, Alex saving that AK, I mean, look at the money for fnatic now. It's nowhere to be seen. So much of the weight of this round is resting on Alex, and he doesn't have the residual cash to go and buy anything for his teammates because he's on the T side. And if you save on the T side, you ain't getting anything. So for EG, opportunity knocks here. They have a brilliant chance to strike down fnatic where they stand and take pretty good control of this first half. This is a brilliant opportunity now. Let's see if they're ready to seize it. Obo certainly is. He's anticipating a rush and huge amounts of damage already inflicted just by utility to the fnatic side. Both Alex and Mezzy. There's the AK already gone down. It's then recollected by Crims, who doesn't have any armor to supplement it.
Ooh.
Switching over to Brolin. He's the one person you might want to have it. Daps now trying to keep these pesky T's at bay, but there's so much pressure coming in from heaven. Oh, it's all gone wrong! Now Fnatic's turn to bail themselves out of the hole. It's Chiquino and Mezzy with the Deagles, and somehow they get the job done. Fnatic looking like Bob the Builder with getting that one sorted.
Mental is boom right now because neither team can deal with these sort of low invest. Well, not. I mean, Fnatic put everything they could into that round, but low weaponry buys, I guess we could call it.
They just can't break each other, can they?
No. There's not been a single eco, George.
What a strange old game. And I'm here for it. I'm here for every second of it. This is great. Great Counter-Strike. No French Counter-Strike here with taking these crazy force buys because there's no need to. Every time a team's on the precipice of losing control, they manage to just catch their balance. Now it's EG's turn to return fire again, Dan.
Oh, dear. I mean, we may as well call it now.
Yeah, EG's round win.
EG find a fifth, yeah.
Sorted.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they'll certainly be throwing a coin into the wishing well. So that could be the case. Mihu needs to put up frags, though.
Okay.
And, oh, Crims, you disgusting boy. An egghead like me, big brain maybe. With kills like that coming through.
Oh dear. Not a fun situation to be caught in whatsoever. Got to fire to his left and then fire to his right. That is the goal. Drinking the coffee.
Stuck in the middle.
This is fine. Stuck between fire and more fire. Forget a rock and a hard place. No need to worry about that. Mezzy is just going to lodge a bullet inside of Breeze as well. Daps, last man standing. And this time, EG unable to bail themselves out. Daps would be well advised to probably try and save something here, so at least they have some lethality into the next round. But he's looking like maybe he fancies his chances. Might have a bit of a read on the situation, but Crims has a better one. Collects up the AK, collects an 8th round. And I got to say already, for a T side of Nuke, this is a banging half from Fnatic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how you sort of call a play like that with Crims just running into ramp room. I mean, yeah, sure, the kill against Mihu close range. That is fair enough. But he just Mach 10, just guns down. I think it was Cirque in support towards the health side of ramp. Long range Mach 10 in is just goated, apparently.
But you remember the Vega Squadron days of 5-man Mach 10 rushes up Banana, for example? I mean, we might even get to see that still yet, as we got Inferno as our second map, but I mean, I live for that. That was, inject that straight into my veins.
But I'll tell you what, George, we're in uncharted territory now, because we're going to need to get out a map.
Hold on to your
Never seen
hats.
this one before. It's an eco.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Well, we did see it briefly in round number 3, but
the Deagle, I guess.
Mihu made sure very quickly that that wasn't going to remain to be the case.
Yeah. Chiquino's just... I wonder how many more people are going to peek into Chiquino here. Obo, you up for it?
One more? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, nice.
Keep feeding the beast.
Just one by one, lemmings into the deadly gunfire. Mihu threw a smoke again this time.
Okay.
Chiquino just taps him away.
More, please. The beast
Chiquino's loving this round.
He's having a great time.
Yeah. Is he trying to one-mag it?
Yeah, go on. I'd love it if he did. Maybe if they just sacrifice Brylon here so you can give the one-mag ace to Chiquino.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Daps is on the way, though, and I don't think Brylon will let it lie if he has the opportunity to. So Robs is a Swedish compatriot of the ace in the end. It would only be an eco ace, so padding those stats. But despite that, Fnatic now find their 9th. And this is a really strong showing, it's got to be said. I mean, I know it's against a feigning EG side who are walking wounded, basically, with the temporary loss of Stanislaw and the substitution of Daps. But even still, expect the CT side of Nuke to be looking a little prettier than this. Wouldn't you say?
I'd hope so. I don't want to say anything apart from just hopes and prayers right now, George, because anything could happen, really. I love this angle though from Daps. It's my favorite angle on Nuke. Less
Not
than when you
anymore.
get spooked.
Not anymore.
When there isn't a smoke there, it's my favorite angle on Nuke because the amount of times teams check that, even if you do check it, you're still likely to lose a first frag because you quite often could have like a main setup as well. So you have sort of a crossfire between that garage position and main. And
Oh my goodness.
nice shot from Mihu there, just spam through the smoke. Ground falling apart for fnatic, just one by one. They get laid to rest, and before you really even know it, Mezzi, the last one alive, now been spotted out as well. Mihu is going to get a bullet lodged in his cranium, though. That's not fun. And Mezzi did spot Sir crossing. Molotov could flush him out, will flush him out, but smoke is good. Still in that corner. Mezzi knows it. He knows he can probably just spray down through the smoke, but he's wary of a player close on his left that could capitalize on the spray. He's going to go for it now. Try and find him.
Wow. That's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
When you have dead to right, so you still miss.
Don't adjust your sets, Dan. Don't adjust those eyes of yours, because you know, seeing is believing, and I believe I have just seen EG win an actual outright gun round, which is something so far they haven't really been able to do.
Yeah, it's always been sort of mixed, sort of minimal, well, not minimal, but mixed sort of non-perfect half buys.
Compromised buys.
Compromised buys, yeah. Oh, compromised smoke there.
Yeah, very much compromised, but it still lands in a reasonably effective position. That's it.
Maybe for the T side, yeah.
Not the one they intended.
No.
More frags through smoke here for EG. They were absolutely abusing that last round, but Mihu more the man. And I've got to say, Polish Phenom has been pretty good for EG so far in this half. Been one of the shining lights, really. I'm blinded by him. Blinded by the lights, Dan.
Yeah. I like how you brought a song reference in before any sort of film reference. That's unusual.
They're on their way. Believe me.
They're on their way.
They're on their way.
You got them scheduled up on the second monitor.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. Ready to go.
Of course. Now Fnatic in the man disadvantage. What can you do? That's certainly one thing. Roland just rips off the head of Obo. Daps shooting corpses. Does finally find a target that still has HP. He's alive as well. Alex now the last one alive, but not for much longer. Nice end to the half there. EG, some good rounds coming through at the end. We are going to head to a short break, though. So join us on the other side where we'll see the second half of Nuke.
Our faith was left out in the open. Saw the fear in your eyes as we move through the dust. Nights turn into days, one by another. Under darkened skies, we await, bound to each other. But our spirits never.
Welcome back, everybody, to Fnatic versus EG. First map of this best of 3 on the final day of Group C here in ESL Pro League Season 14. It is best of 3 time. It is Fnatic EG, like I mentioned. And in the first half, on the T side, Fnatic were able to accrue an impressive 9 rounds against Evil Geniuses, who were only able to dig themselves out of holes when they absolutely needed to. Gun rounds were few and far between for the NA side. And now Fnatic with the big betting odds coming in at the top of your screen. I think that paints a very bleak picture for EG.
Obviously, still first map, still obviously a way for EG to get back into this. It's not all over, I'll say that. But they need a good start here. I think if Fnatic start to romp away, you're going to be in for a very, very sad time. Not a happy fun time. And Crims, oh, that is delightful. Not for EG, though, as they just get massacred at the ramp, George. It's only Daps left. A standing IGL. There's a first kill. 3 more to find. Go on, lad.
Go on. Give it some welly. Do you think he's got it
Do you
down?
reckon he wins this? Do you reckon he wins this? No.
I'm not a big believer, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is a bit too difficult of a situation to try and recover, especially with where the bomb's located as well here for Daps. Already 1 versus 3. I think that's steep enough as it is without the bomb being thrown into the equation.
Yeah. I mean, he's waiting down the time. At least that means that not all of these Fnatic players are going to be looking at this ramp. You can see, obviously, they're having to consider other angles. Now, we've been spotted out again. They will now start to just run rampant. And a few missed shots there. You know, I thought maybe after that first Glock shot from Daps, he might be able to find a kill or 2 more. No, how wrong I was.
Unfortunate, really. But it is what it is. It is what it is. As EG now, after having an extremely unsuccessful pistol round without even being able to accrue a bomb plan, will have to go for an elective force buy here. Often, I'm a big fan of taking the second round eco if you don't get the bomb plant, so you can get the buy on the third. Brolan is a fan of either because he's making cash either way. And Jakino is also coming in with that scout to clean up the rest of the crew. Alex to finish the job, signed, sealed, and delivered. 11 rounds on the scorecard now for Fnatic as they look to be cruising their way up to a 12th shortly, as EG don't have the money to go for any kind of investment here.
Signed, sealed, and delivered, much like DHL.
Right, you're just on it, aren't you, with all these sponsor plugs?
Yeah. I mean, that's the first one, but...
You're usually pretty good at it, I gotta say.
Yeah.
One of your primary talents, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, that one wasn't anything fancy.
Sponsor reads primary, casting secondary.
Yeah, of course. Gotta get them in. No, nothing untoward there, but a little untoward for Brolan.
Okay.
Went aggressive, got caught out. Jakino looking to try and clean up the mess, and with the scout, oh, that is lovely. That is lovely. Couple nice kills. Scout looking hot, as is Jakino.
Liking a look at that, are you, Dan?
Yeah, that silhouette. Oh,
really does get me going, to be fair. The mystery, the intrigue. That's what I'm all about here. But there's no mystery behind that. The scout has really got that one sorted. And there should be no mystery any further behind this round as well, because this one is looking as good as finished as Jakino picks up his 3rd frag of the round with that scout. Just Daps able to slip the nest. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the bomb, though, which is going to make this endeavor into the B site somewhat fruitless. He won't be able to expunge a plant out of it. Instead, he's going to have to go back up and face his demons. Hello, demons. It's me, your boy, Mezzy, ready and waiting.
Also another hot silhouette there for Mezzy. Liking the look of that one. Oh,
Yeah.
tasty.
They're all the same silhouette, Dan. I think you're being debated.
Nah, exactly. That's why they all look tasty. Enough of that, though. Enough of that, because EG, they've capped themselves the guns now, George, and down by 6. They need to start picking up some rounds here, and they do have, obviously, a little bit of a bonus coming up against them from that fnatic side. A couple FAMASes, the Org for Brolin, Giacchino once again on the scout, and Alex just with the MP9. They're actually going to push up close. Aaron shots through that smoke, do force him back, but doesn't take as much damage as I'd maybe expect from that position. But he's a smart boy, not wanting to stick around there, because obviously if they're spamming that corner, it means they might have a check at that corner as well. And I think the main reason you'd play there is to not get checked.
What's
Check
the main
yourself
reason?
before you wreck yourself.
The main reason I play most cheesy corners in Counter-Strike is so I don't get checked and I can potentially earn some easy frags.
Yeah, boost those stats.
Yeah, I really am a stat padder.
That's all Simple does.
Yeah, obviously. That's all he's good for. As Mihu now is pretty good for taking down Brolin and opening up Secret here for the EG side. Breeze also opens up onto Alex, so a decent opening here for EG, a potential promising blossom soon to sprout. Giacchino is still in position. He's found a body shot. Just needs to make sure he doesn't get his head whipped off. Another frag, another bag, but not, unfortunately, going to be another in his locker. Obo and Breeze both cleaning up to 1 frag apiece, leaving it all up to Mezzy. He's got to go 1 versus 4, do some Lionel Messi plays. Unfortunately, for the time being, it's not looking all too promising as he's picked the wrong side, Dan.
Oh. Gonna go make some players.
Yep. Get their
Chip
mechs
shot.
going. Yeah, I think actually this is not a bad opportunity to save, actually. So we'll go from Lionel Messi to James time, as it's just the AK in hand, but plenty of residual cash here for Messi. So if he survives this round, providing that Cirque doesn't best him here at this juncture, he should be able to get a decent purchase in for his teammates in the coming round. But unfortunately, I spoke too soon.
Don't you just love it? Speaking too soon. Fnatic do get that decent buy through nonetheless. Obviously, that AK would have just made it that little bit sweeter. As you mentioned, Brolin has to reside on just a FAMAS, a little bit of utility, but they get a couple kits in there as well. So it's reasonable. It's a reasonable buy, but you do need to try and shut this EG side down before things get too sort of sketchy, before they start getting their way towards double digits. Because if you're not able to pick this one up, you are going to be giving them a good run of form here, EG, and a good chance to build up that economy on the T side, which is going to be very hard to break. For EG, they'll obviously be hoping for the opposite. Weird, that.
Funny how this game works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Slow pace coming out here, though, for Fnatic. Interestingly enough, 3 Orgs purchased, Dan. I don't know what your views are on this, on the old scoped weapon.
Yeah, just give us a zoomy boy every day of the week.
Feel like we're back in January 2019.
Yeah. Oh, quite as dangerous, though. Giacchino.
With another zoomy boy.
Yeah, the big zoomy boy. Racking up a couple frags there. He's just Breeze and Daps. A combined 58 HP between the two of them, and never mind, it's all gone. Clean round from Fnatic. Only losing Crims all in all from that, but Giacchino setting up for success there.
Yeah, and he was all alone as well. A completely untradeable situation with the most expensive gun in the round. I've got to say, he's done well to handle the pressure there. Giacchino holds strong towards the towards Secret, denying any further entry of how EG were able to blow open the last round. So I suppose if you struggle with one entrance, why not put a big scary bouncer on the door and deny entry? I think that works quite effectively, don't you?
Yeah, just remember you don't forget your ID.
Don't forget your ID. No, that's the worst thing you could do. I have never forgotten my ID, Dan. Do you know why? Because I keep it in my wallet.
Yeah, I mean, remember before I had a provisional license or any license for driving, it was very awkward trying to get into places.
Take your passport with you.
Yeah, just hello, I am a British citizen.
Wonderful. That's not what I asked. Don't care. Didn't ask. Ratio. Like, all over again.
Oh, Chiquinho, hello.
Lovely.
Oh,
Gets
he's
himself
just-
in again.
Oh, I like this. And he's...
Oh, I don't like that. That's unfortunate. A quick leg, a bad tag, and unfortunately now that leaves it onto Alex to try and defend this A site. He is going to call for the assistance of Mezzi shortly, but Mezzi's just not going to be there quickly enough. With the door blown open, it's not safe for Mezzi to escalate. And now he's been spotted on his way up, so he's going to have to dip back down and reconsider. Brella not really in close proximity either. I think that might just be the persuasion that fnatic needed to bail out on this round. Give it a go in the next one. We'll just, you know, mission failed. We'll get them next time.
With the 2 guns saved as well, you can sort of get a pretty decent buy up in the next one. Alex, about 4k as of right now. They won't have any loss bonus, I think, fnatic, so it'll be 1400 coming in. Mezzi, Brolin can drop over to Crims and Jack. You know, you can have a pretty decent buy. I wonder if they want to go for the AWP again. Maybe Alex can drop, but maybe no armor for him. Risky. Could be a risky choice. My maths is correct.
Risky business, Dan.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to get armor if he bought the AWP for Giacchino or himself. So I suspect they'll probably just go for the 5 rifles.
That would be the safest bet, but how much weight are you willing to put into Giacchino with that AWP? Well, they're going to take a timeout to assess the situation. Like Fagin in Oliver Twist, they are reviewing the situation. Gosh, that's a dated reference. Can't really believe I brought that one out. But even still, yeah, they're reviewing it. And I don't think this is a bad call whatsoever because you are in a pretty delicate position here for fnatic. Whilst you have a decent buffer of rounds to play with, you don't really want to give anything away. You want to try and make sure that if it does come down to any form of a tie, that you have the best round difference as possible to give you the best chance if need be. Not that that's really going to matter depending on the outcomes of some of these games.
I think for most of it, it is based on. I think that all the circumstances are actually based on head-to-head or can be sorted through head-to-heads. And I think a couple of head-to-head map difference as well. But yeah, I don't think round difference is going to.
Not going to be a factor.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, even still. You don't want to throw away unnecessary rounds. So then what they've done is they've put Giacchino on that scout, like you mentioned, going for the more conservative approach, not the risky one. Playing the percentage game by giving Alex the armor and the AWP to play with too. So it feels like a good time to be alive if you're a fnatic fan right now, because you still managed to muster a buy into this crucial round. And if this game's trends are anything to go by so far, this should be a fnatic win, considering as they are reliably able to pick up rounds when their backs are against the wall.
And obviously this is a map pick as well, so you've got to be feeling confident if you are fnatic. E.g., they're going to just lay down a whole smorgasbord of utility towards the yard by the looks of things. It's just you Molotovs coming flying across. Giacchino scout can't hit the first shot. And that is him put to bed by Mihu. Roland's going to try and push forward to try and retake that position. Make sure EG don't get too carried away with this, but they've got Mihu already up on the roof. Crims, you can see in the site, is wary of this angle. He's going to relocate to try and watch for it, but the timing could be huge. Could be everything. Mihu needs the shot, and he gets it. Huge frag. He's left on 20 HP, but that opens up access in towards this A site, but they do not expect a player below them. Roland could have a lot on his plate here. One play towards outside. Obo will take him down, but Cirque is instantly there for the reply. So 2 players above that Brolin really needed to focus on there, I think. But either way, good work from EG. They've managed to force their way down towards that B side, actually. They don't commit towards A.
I don't hate this at all, actually, you know, Dan, because it has given the quick little leg breaker. Cirque is the crucial man here, though, to stop the rotation from Alex, and he's done so successfully. And that should put a stop to any plans that Mezzi had brewing inside of his mind. He's now going to realize that he has to relinquish control of this round and back all the way out. But then make sure that he has at least some potency into the next round. So a good round altogether from EG, it has to be said. I think they constructed that mid-round rather nicely, called it well, and got themselves into that B site. I think the B site was the right call. I think A might have been a bit too precarious with Alex's position.
Just as a little side note as well, we did mention it pre-game, obviously, but if any new viewers are tuning into this one, fnatic still have an opportunity to get through into the playoffs. They are still fighting for a spot. EG, they are goners. They're goners. nothing to play for apart from pride, and 5,000 euros if you win a series in the Pro League. But Fnatic, if they win and Na'Vi win against FaZe, Fnatic will be getting through. Those are the only two, or that's the only sort of circumstance that matters here for Fnatic. All the other results will be meaningless if Fnatic win and Na'Vi win. Just as a little aside note there, before we get into the next round, where Mezzi's doing a lot of damage towards the yard. Hello?
Okay.
Oh my god! He's just smurfed with the AUG.
That's
What
one way to do
weapon,
it.
George? That's all he had.
That's certainly one way to do it, and he might not be done just yet, because Breeze, whilst he's working his way into the site, Mezzi had previously just rotated his way up to heaven and now realizes that that bad timing to drop down wasn't quite perfect. This is still a very winnable situation, mind you, for EG. Just have to deal with that low HP AUG, and then from that point forward, these USPs should be somewhat easier to try and contend with. But now, you see, Kino is taking possession of that AUG because of the higher HP. There's a point at which 17 HP, the armor is kind of irrelevant at that moment in time. So whilst Alex is also being able to recover an AK-47, potentially there's something on here for Fnatic. Just need to try and make sure they do it together if they're going to do it at all. Need to keep Mezzi alive, or at the very least keep track of where his kit is as well, because this retake is going to be hinging quite heavily around that.
Nice first kill from Daps. He's doing good damage. Breeze now stepping into the foray as well, and it looks like they should be able to close this one down. Just all on left. Ah! Kit, does he have it?
No, I don't think he has.
I don't know if he has the time, George. He doesn't have it. No. Breeze just about staying alive for as long as possible. Brawler even goes down to the bomb. So a costly round for EG, but it does give them double digits, despite Mezzi just getting free K towards the outside.
Yeah, I've got to say that is something else.
Yeah.
For a round like that to be back in favour of EG, though, is showing some good signs that they've actually got the ability to turn rounds like that back in their favour. I mean, even with no slight against Daps, of course, but he is a little bit rusty in the Counter-Strike sphere, especially with playing in Europe after being on Valorant for so long. So I think, you know, having mid-round calls such as that, being quite visible, it's really positive sign to see moving into the remainder of this best of three for EG. Whilst they are only playing for pride and 5,000 euros at this point, I think it's still good to show that you've got something on offer before Stan is back, right? And I think he said that he was looking to try and come back before Blast in September. So you still got a little bit of time to play with this lineup, and you still got a little bit of time to make something happen. But in this round, it looks like it's going to be Alex who's trying to make things happen outside. Unfortunately, at the bequest of Mihu, he is taken down, and now that means that the site, more to the point B, is going to be opened up somewhat. But Mezzi's on the flank. He's found one. And I think that's going to be huge amounts of information gathered over to Fnatic as well, which means they can make the appropriate adjustments and accommodations to defending this B site before Daps and Mihu are able to get their teeth sunk into the flesh of it. Moving their way on in now, but Brolin is already trying to bed himself in here. He's tucked in tight. Mihu may also be trying to run interference by making his way out of the control room soon as well. But Daps really a lot hinging on him here with the way that he and Mihu elect to play this. Brolan, the only player in close proximity with one more player helping out on the ramp, but he's going to be covered off by this smoke. It's all on Brolan, and he's going to be the one to get it done and dusted. 14 rounds on the scorecard now for Fnatic. They kept 4 players alive, and that is going to go wonders into chipping into this EG economy that's actually already looking pretty crumbly as it is.
That's nice to see from Brolan as well. He's not looked great so far on Nuke, and it's mainly been him and Mezzi who have been those two key hitters for Fnatic. We've had Takino in there up and down throughout the Pro League. He's having a great Nuke here. 21 and 12 for him. Mezzi 24 and 10. Meanwhile, on the EG side, it's Mihu and Cirque that are really carrying the numbers. Mihu not been one of those players that you'd expect to sort of have the high impact. He's had a great Nuke performance so far. But I think for Jaquinho as well, obviously there was that sort of first game against Na'Vi where he had that, you know, the blunder. The big old whiff for Oni. But I think in terms of just sort of bedding into this roster as the AWP, I think he's been pretty solid for them, honestly. I think he's been nice. There's no need to go switching things around for them just yet. I think Fnatic, they'll play things out, see how things lie. And Jaquinho, I think, if he keeps playing like this, he'll certainly deserve a spot in this roster.
Yeah, I think so far in Pro League, a couple of people have been leveling a bit of criticism at him, maybe suggesting other people should be replacing him in this roster, but I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
You know, it's difficult to get players bedded in. I mean, look, we saw various iterations of that Mouse Sports roster before Carrigan got there. The in-game leader joining the lineup can make all the difference, and I think a lot of the criticism is still residual criticism from the golden era of this team. So maybe there's still something to be said for Chiquinho, but there needs to be something said by Brolin right here, right now. And unfortunately for him, he's only able to muster one silent whisper. Thankfully, the rest of his team there with a big old shout. It's 15-10. It's map point. They clean up the little pistol buy coming on through. And this will be last chance saloon now for EG. No more mistakes. No more second chances. This is all you've got to play with. And already the buy doesn't look too fantastic because there's a Galil and a Mac 10 thrown into the equation. I think that's far from optimal, wouldn't you say?
I think Owa's going to be left on a pistol as well. Oh dear. Yeah, this is not what you want.
That is big Rut-Row Raggy moments.
Oh dearie me. Yeah, this is what your first map lies on now, EG. You've got to try and force an opening, maybe get Obo onto a weapon as well if you can salvage something. That would be peachy. Obviously, of course, this is the Fnatic map pick, so you're still going to be heading into Inferno with that map in your sort of wheelhouse, I guess. Fnatic, we've not seen anything at all, I don't think, from them on Inferno as of yet. At least not as this lineup with Alex and Mezzi in the system. And obviously, of course, you've got Crims, Brolin, and Chiquinho as that core lineup. But with a new IGL, the entire system can change. So we just don't know what to sort of expect on Inferno from them, which I think is going to be interesting. We could end up being scrapped, though. This is a lovely angle from Brolan. Could have used the scope. Might have got more than one. But I don't want to tell a pro player what to do.
No, I wouldn't be doing that, Dan, because we're, after all, are just silver casters, let's be honest.
True.
But self-awareness goes a long way, I think. But even despite that, yeah, it's a strange one there for Brolin. He can't see all that much over the top of the smoke, and then once he basically reveals his position, he's a sitting dog. Doesn't really have many places he can go. Needs to get the drop on a number of players all at the same time, and unfortunately, they just ever so slightly strayed from his spray pattern. Now in the 4-on-4, Fnatic with plenty of setup here inside the A site. By the point of just Crims, really, with Mezzi in tow. Crims can have to do a lot as they enter in, but he is immediately bodied. Now Mezzi's bodied as well. Whoa, Mihu! Give the man a chance to breathe, as Chiquinho now wondering what happened to the rest of his team, as they've all just been wiped off the map, Thanos snap style, as EG just secure themselves in 11th with some pretty good finesse from Mihu. What a contact play that was. Individual brilliance all over the server from EG right there.
That was disgusting, George. Honestly, gonna have to go clean myself.
Right?
Yeah, they're too dirty for me.
Get in the shower.
Yeah. Wipe off that muck. So a nice round from EG, honestly. I mean, obviously, there's not much more to say about that one apart from just walking in and headshotting people, I guess.
Sometimes, Dan, I say this a lot, but sometimes Counter-Strike is a game about who can click each other's head the fastest. And in that round, it was Mihu. Mihu could click the head the fastest.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes, you know? Sometimes that's all you need. A little bit of love, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of a crispy Juan tap.
Get those Juans in there.
Yeah.
Love the Juan. But
big love to all you Juans out there.
Yeah. I love the name Juan, actually. It's just nice. Nice to say, if nothing else.
It is. It's good.
Yeah.
I've never met a Juan, but I'll make that an aspiration of mine when I get back to traveling the world.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we can go traveling together, George.
That'd be cute, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You, me, your girlfriend.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll be taking all the third wheel picks, you know?
Absolutely. That's what you're there for. But it's also what Crims is there for, to make sure that nobody's taking any pictures inside of the huts. Breeze pays for that one with his life. No selfie ops inside of that. It looks to be a bit of an outside ploy that they're going to try and execute with here. EG chucking down all the relevant smokes, obscuring vision from your favorite angle on this map. And now, soon, to walk behind that wall and try and get themselves in towards Garage. I believe they're looking to try and go to here. So a little bit more of an aggressive ploy, not actually going to be making their way in towards Secret for the time being. And as a result, Obo will pay for his life. Alex in position, gets another one whilst perfectly blinded up. Mihu wondering what happened, wondering where that flashbang even came from, as Alex looks for one more, a little bit too greedy potentially, but Daps now 2 versus 4 with Cirque in tandem. What do they have to offer to keep this game alive? Well, on the periphery of this smoke, it could be Brolin to finish the job, and he's found one, maybe looking for the second. Tiffany tapping away for fnatic to find 16.